Hello and welcome to United Astronomy Clubs of New Jersey. We are back in studio over our winter season. Once again, anxiously waiting for when we finally open our site first Saturday in April, which is coming up very soon. We have three more winter presentations, and like I said, then we will be back on site. Also, the second weekend in April, yeah, because that's um, is also NEAF. And you can also, if you happen to be going to the Northeast Astronomy Forum, you'll be able to hang out with us there. UACNJ has once again their booth or our booth at the convention. So if you happen to be going to that, drop in, say hi. It's always a fun time to get to see everyone there and also check out what new astronomy gear is out there. All right, so uh, first things first, I do want to encourage everyone to check us out on our website, uacnj.org. It is where you're going to find a list of all our member clubs, because that's right, UACNJ isn't just a club in and of itself, but made up of many astronomy clubs. And one of the easiest ways to get into astronomy, or any hobby really, is to find your local club and join it. They're going to be able to help you out greatly, not only with ease of access, but also various tips and tricks that are very relevant to your area. Because the tips and tricks I may know for living out uh, by UACNJ, where we have some darker skies than, let's say, New York City, is not very helpful for those who live in New York City. And I know we have a number of people who reside over there who come visit us every year. That being said, you can also check out our social media pages, our Facebook, our Instagram. We have a Discord server, all great places to find out what we're doing, any special events that may be happening, or just fun things that are going on. I do want to say hi to everyone coming into chat. Um, Also, fun thing, last first of the month presentation with Lonnie, someone had made a mention that they wished we could do giveaways. So I've been running through some settings. Uh, this might only be able to apply to people in the Twitch chat, not the YouTube chat. But I was able to figure out, and we're going to test during the Q&A session after the presentation, whether giveaways are possible through our online store, Fourth Wall. Uh, Also, shameless plug, go check us out there. It's where you can find all our merch and whatnot that you can't find at our site. But anyhow, you're not here to listen to me blabber on forever. You're here for the What's Up in the March Sky presentation with Lonnie. Lonnie has been doing this presentation since approximately the Cretaceous. Not that long. Uh, but it's definitely been since UACNJ started giving public presentations way back then. Um, he is an excellent, not only knowledgeable person about what's going on up in the sky, but also a space art and animation through the International Association of Astronomical Artists. I think I got that in the correct order, but the IAAA, did I forget an A? There are too many A's. You're laughing because you know it's right, Lonnie. And normally I'm more put together during the bio because normally I remember to have it open, uh, but I did not
Well, that's all
because
right. You
that
can
is
make up anything you like.
But do check out his work and his website, which I'm sure he will shamelessly plug later on in the talk. Um, but he does hold degrees from Stevens Institute of Technology in both physics and computer science. His arms got tired, so he since hung them on the wall, which is honestly a much better place for them. Like I said, he learned how to make space art, 3D animation, and videos. And like I said, his website is a great thing to check out. It's super fun. And his current projects include expanding his space history ebook and putting his pants on two legs at a time. Have you managed to do that yet, Lonnie?
Yes, I've been practicing. Oops, sounds like you dropped out, Kim. Pardon us, we are experiencing sound difficulties. Still not hearing you.
Okay. Can people hear me now?
Yes.
All right. That was weird. My internet went and blipped there for a minute. So want to
Oh,
make
that
sure.
happens.
Chat, we're good in chat. You can hear. I'm gonna wait till someone says that they can actually hear in chat before I release you to start your presentation. Right. Yes, geology jokes. Occasionally I'm a little nerdy, and by occasionally I mean all the time. Yes, so they're saying they can hear. It was only on my end, thankfully. So with that, here's our presentation with Lonnie.
Thank you, Kim. And I want to thank everybody at UACNJ who makes this series possible. Jeff, Chris, Kim, and a lot of other people are volunteering their time. So do come and visit us when we're open in April, where you'll see me live for the first Saturday, April 4th. But don't forget, we do things every Saturday. We're here to talk about what's up in March, this March, and we're looking at it here in the middle of March on the 14th. We're looking due south, and we're looking at the winter triangle. In the winter, we've got some nice bright stars. We're facing in the right direction to see some very bright, relatively nearby stars on the order of up to 1,000 light years away. But some of the most easily recognized in the upper right are in Orion with its bright star Alpha Orionis, which I've labeled here, otherwise known as Betelgeuse. And then to the left, the small dog star Alpha Canis Minor. The big, brightest nighttime star, Sirius, is Alpha Canis Major, the large dog. So you've just identified the winter triangle. And we're going to do that with other constellations, star patterns, other nebulae, gas clouds, star clusters, things to see in March. Let's begin with the moon, which looks like this tonight. It's in a gibbous phase, which means not quite full, between quarter and full. And waning means it's getting smaller. So we're going towards the last quarter moon pretty soon. You can see this day by day at moongiant.com. And I'll be mentioning a few websites that I don't work for that I use as reference. You can feel free to take pictures of these, check them out yourself. There's a very nice calendar right here at Moon Giant, which you can adjust. You can show the names of the phases, the illumination level, the major phases. You can do the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, back to northern. I'm going to turn everything off except the major phases. And this month, they're not all lined up week by week. It's not 7 days apart exactly. The moon's period of phases, 29 and a half days, doesn't fit neatly into any calendar month. Sometimes you get 2 full moons in a month. That happens once in a while. It's called a blue moon. It has nothing to do with the color. But we've got here early in the month, we're over here on the 7th, but back in the past, we had not only a full moon on the 3rd, but a lunar eclipse, which I'll talk about later. The last quarter moon is coming up on the 11th, If you get up at 5 in the morning, look south, you'll see that moon lit up halfway, and half of a half is less than a half or a quarter. That's why we call it a quarter moon, although there are 4 quarters to the whole moon. And the other side is lit up halfway too. It's just that we're not on that side, facing away from the Earth. New moon, 19th, great time to see faint objects in the sky. Why? Because the moon is not in the evening sky. It's in the daytime sky near the sun. First quarter moon, if you go out toward the end of the month, look south at a decent hour from sunset onward, you'll see the first quarter moon in the south with a nice split down the middle, allowing you to see nice little white dots near the terminator between the light side and the dark side if you have a telescope. And try that. See if you can see the mountains of the moon lit up near the terminator with a small telescope, maybe a pair of giant binoculars. So that's Moon Giant, which has other things to see as well. Every month they talk about Native American names for the full moon. This month it's the bloodworm moon, when the worms come up as the soil warms. And there are many other names. So if you go to starwalk.space, you can see infographics for each month. They've got a lot of information about not only full moons, but everything. It's one of the references that I'll list at the end of my talk. So the bloodworm moon, and we're coming up on the pink moon in April, which I'll talk about in You'll Never Guess What's Up in the April Sky. Some of you may have missed, and some of you may have seen the total eclipse of the moon. I didn't. I saw a nice, on the night of the 2nd, going into the 3rd, I saw a nice moon high up in the sky, a perfectly clear sky around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. And when I got up again at 4:45 in the morning on the 3rd, the sky was completely overcast. So I did not see the moon in the Earth's umbra, the center part of our shadow. The Earth makes a shadow going out into space, a deep part, the umbra, a faint part, the penumbra. And we had a chance to see that this year, not again till 2028. There is a nice YouTube video, whoops, which I forgot doesn't work here. So what we can do is cheat by, technical difficulties. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the screen. The browser's not out of date. What I have to do is copy that URL, or do you say URL? Do you say potato or potato? I don't know anybody who says potato, no one. But I don't say URL, I say URL. And I'm going to put that URL right there so we can see some pictures of the moon, the blood red moon. Why did it turn red? Because the Earth's atmosphere acts like a big lens and it bends light around, all the way around to the moon. So if you were on the moon looking at the Earth, you'd see a red ring all the way around a darkened Earth with maybe some city lights, if you could see any continents. If the Earth shine, the light from the sun going around the Earth in the red ring didn't drown out everything else. So we're looking at some pictures of the eclipse as the moon entered the Earth's shadow and turned reddish in color. You can see that for yourselves on YouTube. It's a lot of stuff on YouTube. If you have any questions about how anything works, go to YouTube. You can get some really nice wrong answers if you look carefully, and some right ones. Some of you may have heard that there was a syzygy of planets lining up in a straight line. Nope, that's an exaggeration. The planets aren't all lined up there. They are visible in the sky, sweeping from west over towards east, but it's nothing particularly special. Not special like 1979, when all the giant planets were lined up on one side of the solar system, and our space probes flew right by them from one to the other. But if you look at the sky in the middle of the month, this is the 14th of March, at 20 hours minus 12 is, anyone? 20 minus 12? No answers. Simple mathematics. No, actually arithmetic. That's 8 p.m. Look for Venus low in the west. Now, most of you won't have a perfectly clear horizon as if you were in the middle of the ocean, right? So Venus may be stuck behind the trees and the houses as it is here for me. That's one planet. Another minor planet, number one, asteroid first discovered New Year's Day at the beginning of the 1801, beginning of the 19th century. Ceres, large asteroid, about 600 miles across, about the size of the state of Texas. You cannot see it. You can see something that looks like a star, but you can't see it as detailed as you would by looking at other planets with a telescope. It's too small. Further up, the planet Uranus is near the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, a little star cluster, which we'll talk about soon. And then if you keep going along this line, which you will see in the sky if you look carefully, yes, no, I do lie occasionally. This is the orbit of the Earth projected out into space in a special program that I'm going to use called Stellarium. And Stellarium makes these things visible to show you where the sun, moon, and planets travel through the signs of the zodiac, the horns and face of the bull, Taurus. And if we go further up into Gemini, the twins, we'll find the bright planet Jupiter, making the twins look a little different than they usually do. So this is facing towards the southwest. We can see many planets. What do they look like in a telescope? What do they look like close up? Again, you won't see Ceres in any telescope on Earth that we have access to, any of the telescopes at Jenny Jump, at the observatories. But if you do look at 8 o'clock at night, low in the west, amongst the stars of the fishes, Pisces, you'll find Ceres. Asteroid number one. It's now considered a minor planet, like Pluto is a minor planet, or a dwarf planet. Ceres is the only rated dwarf planet in the main asteroid belt that lies between Mars and Jupiter. Minor planet, dwarf planet. The big one. But if you look near the Pleiades this month, you'll see the planet Uranus, not with the naked eye, not in this area, unless you have very dark skies. And it is possible, if you know exactly where to look, and if you have good eyesight, it is possible to see this planet with the naked eye. Before the planet was ever discovered, it showed up in some drawings and photographs before people even knew about it. Well, drawings anyway. It's near the Seven Sisters, little star cluster, and an older star cluster that makes the face of Taurus the bull, the Hyades cluster, the Pleiades cluster, and Uranus. In a small telescope, Uranus shows a featureless disk. Some people have seen a white equatorial band, but that's difficult, especially since the planet is tipped at a weird angle so that its pole sometimes faces us. But if you have a small telescope, you might see the outer moons Titania and Oberon, named after the king and queen of the fairies in, for instance, Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, which has been made into many movies and plays. A larger telescope will inner inner satellites Umbriel and Ariel. The order from Uranus going further away is Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, Oberon. Miranda is a smaller inner moon, one of the weirdest in the solar system. Looks like it's been smashed apart and thrown back together. Jupiter is a wonderful object, even in small telescopes. It shows details like equatorial bands, thousands of miles wide. Keep in mind, you could put the Earth 11 times across Jupiter. Even minor storms on Jupiter are the size of Earth's continents. And if you looked at Jupiter tonight, at 20 hours minus 12 is anyone? I can hear people shouting. It's amazing because I don't have any audio here. It's, yes, 8 o'clock tonight. This is what Jupiter looked like with its moons, exactly in a telescope. With the moon closest to it is Io, followed by Europa, and then Ganymede, then Callisto. Why don't they look in order? Because they move around the planet in orbits, circular orbits, and we're not looking at the orbits from overhead. We see them pretty much edge on. So the moons will go back and forth, sometimes across Jupiter, making a shadow, sometimes disappearing behind Jupiter. Even in a small telescope, Jupiter shows some nice details, cloud bands, cloud details. Check it out. You've probably heard a lot about interstellar comet 3I/Atlas. The I is for interstellar. Number 3 is the third one discovered, coming from outside our solar system. I like David Jewett's comment. He's from the University of California, Los Angeles. He says, no one knows where the comet came from. It's like glimpsing a rifle bullet for 1,000th of a second. That's how fast this thing was coming into our solar system. So if we trace it backwards, we can't project it with any accuracy as to where it came from, but we can see a little bit of its orbit and figure out that it came from way, way out of the solar system. And it is, in fact, a comet with some unusual spectral characteristics like nickel, but it's not, as Professor Avi Loeb once proposed, a artificial space probe visiting us from another civilization. Darn, too bad. However, if an artificial space probe were to come into our solar system, it would behave in its orbit very similarly to the 3 so far discovered interstellar comets. Comet C, this is really tough to remember. Why couldn't they give it a name like Bob? Comet Bob, otherwise known as C/2026 A1 MAPS. Maybe I'll just call it C2026 for now, is going to be an interesting object. And again, of course, I made the mistake of doing that. What I want to do is copy my URL because my browser is protecting me a little bit too much. That's not the comet. Although when the comet melts, it goes right from water to gas. And you can speed through some of this about comet. There's a nice YouTube video that explains about this. Sorry, about the total lunar eclipse. Now, how did that happen? All right. Well, while we're here, why don't we see what the eclipse looked like for those who missed it? There's that umbra I was talking about. The center part of the shadow is the deepest. Penumbra eclipse, it's hard to notice any difference. But when it's here, that's when you can see it well. And the moon was setting when it was about here, just into the umbra, setting here in New Jersey. We have an acquaintance in Australia who got to see the entire eclipse. I'm very jealous. So you can check that out. Oops, and back to the, oops, wrong. Well, I'll know a different way to work things next time. I keep talking about this T Corona Borealis, the star T in the crown Corona that's in the northern sky, Borealis. What's Corona Australis? Corona Australis. If you heard me talk about Australia, you know what hemisphere that's in? Southern. So there is a southern crown, but in the northern crown, we're expecting a bright star, well, a not very bright star. In fact, a very faint star to become visible to the naked eye. And that's because there are actually 2 stars here revolving about each other. The very small star, about the size of a planet, is a white dwarf. There's a red giant that's kind of reddish in color, It's not very hot compared to the hot white star. And the white star is pulling material off of that star into a disk that accretes or collects material. So astronomers, being the clever beings they are, call it the accretion disk. Once in a while, that material builds up and explodes in a fusion explosion that brightens 1,600 times. The star will go from the astronomical magnitude scale that astronomers use from 10 to 2. Now, higher numbers are fainter. Faintest we can see with the eye is 5. Every 5 magnitudes is 100 times dimmer, going from 5 to 10. So this thing is 100 times dimmer than we can see with our eye, and yet it will go to magnitude +2 and be as bright as some of the stars of the constellation it's in, or of Cassiopeia, or of the Little Dipper. Predictions, they're making predictions based on the orbit of 228 days. We missed a couple. You can see that were made back in 2024, fairly accurate. So I challenge you to keep watching out in June of this year. And if it doesn't happen then, maybe next year in February. Why didn't it happen when we expected it? Every 80 years would have been April of 2024. Didn't happen. Something odd is going on, but it could happen anytime. Do you know about the vernal equinox, also known as the March equinox or the spring equinox? When we trace the sun on that ecliptic path I talked about earlier, going through the zodiac, that's why these signs are important. Sagittarius, the archer, Capricornus, the sea goat, Aquarius, water carrier, Pisces, fishes, Aries, the ram, they trace out the path of the sun, moon, and planets. And our ancestors knew that. They watched the sky carefully. They also had much clearer skies than we do now. And they noted that every once in a while, the sun would cross the equator of the Earth drawn out into space, which is tipped to the orbit of Earth because the Earth is tipped to its orbit on its axis, right? About 24.5 degrees. You've heard that for many years. I heard 24.5. It's actually 23.5. It's actually 23.44, Captain. But that is when the sun crosses the equator at 9:46 in the morning on March 20th. The spring equinox. Days and nights on the Earth are equal all over the Earth. All over the Earth, equal days and nights. And before we look at reading, I would like to take a look at a program called Stellarium that simulates the sky seen from anywhere on Earth, anytime in the past, present, or future. This is free software. You can download it, you can install it, you can run a stellarium-web.org on the website, so you don't have to install anything. You can run this for free on any mobile device, tablet, phone, anything. And so here we are, we're looking at the sky in real time at 7:20. Is that right? 7:20? Everybody check me. 7:20 and 7:20, oops, 8, what am I talking about? 8:28 and 38, 39 seconds, 40 seconds. We can zoom in to see the sky more realistically the way it looks to the human eye. And there's that winter triangle I talked about earlier, Betelgeuse, Procyon, and Sirius, brightest star at night. It is overpowered by a star closer yet. This one's 8.6 light years away. Which star is 8.3 light minutes away? Think about it. Winter triangle. If we zoom out a bit, as we could on a small star chart, like the kind we sell at UACNJ physical site, right? So come and visit us. See our gift shop. We've got all kinds of neat things, including a circular planisphere that lets you see the sky any time of day or night, any time of the year. But here we can zoom in a bit with our software and look for the winter hexagon, 6 bright stars, Sirius, Rigel, the knee of Orion, the hunter, Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, Taurus. Capella in Auriga, the chariot rider, carrying the 3 baby goats. The bright stars, Castor and Pollux in the twins, with Jupiter visiting this month. Then back to Procyon. Again, Sirius, Rigel, Aldebaran, Capella, Pollux, and Procyon. The winter hexagon. It's a little bit more confusing now because we got Betelgeuse in the middle, and Jupiter adds yet another bright star. Not a star at all. So how do we get ourselves oriented so we can learn our way around the winter sky, the March sky specifically? Well, here we are. We're looking at the site, uacnj.org, and it's rather dark. Don't know if you can make out the buildings. We could look at it during the day, but that would spoil our fun. And if we look towards the north, we see that some familiar stars, the stars of the dragon's head is in the trees. Cepheus the king is very low. The queen is next to him. The sideways letter M or W. It's a little harder without the outline, so I'm going to leave them on because you'll find these on most star charts. Make it a little bit easier to find things like the Big Dipper, which is fairly familiar, fairly easy to see, even with the other fainter stars. You can get your bearings to find your way to true north by following the Big Dipper's pointer stars, Merak and Dubhe, in a straight line about 5 times their angle apart. It comes right past the North Star, Polaris, pole star. I've marked the true position of the Earth's North Pole where it points in space. You can see that we're close to that. Our bright star, Polaris, is fairly close. We're lucky to have a bright star there. Thousands of years from now, there will be no bright star near the North Pole. We'll be like the people in the Southern Hemisphere who have only a faint star near the South Pole. What's this? Ursa Minor, the Bear Small. Ursa Major, the Bear Large. And in Stellarium, there are cultural symbols and pictures. You can do many cultures, Inuit, ancient Egypt, the Far East, all over the world in different times. These are standard constellation drawings. Actually, there's no such thing as a standard for Stellarium, but every book will have something different. If you can find your way north to true north, then you'll find it much easier to find your way around the sky, because then you'll know if you spin yourself to the left, you'll be going westward, and you'll see the stars in the west disappearing. The stars of late winter are going to go away to be replaced soon by the stars of spring. I'll be talking about those next in What's Up in the April Sky. So the further we go towards the south, we begin to see that even this early at night, only 2033, what's that? 8:33. You can see the Milky Way, the winter Milky Way, different from the summer Milky Way. To see it, will you see it in light polluted skies like where I live in Bergen County? Nope. In fact, I have trouble seeing the Little Dipper at all. I can see the North Star, but that's about it. If you look low in the south, you can use Orion, very easily recognized, to find your way to other things. We can use a technique we amateur astronomers call star hopping. That's right. I'm an amateur astronomer. I don't do this for money. I'm not a pro, but I've been doing it for many decades. And so I know things that pros don't. I was on the roof of the physics building at Stevens Institute of Technology, looking through a telescope with the astronomy club. This was a long time ago. And the slightly overweight professor who was teaching us astronomy got his first look at Saturn in a small refractor, and he got so excited, he jumped up and down and dropped his pipe, saying, "It does have rings, it does have rings." So really exciting to see that for the first time, or even to see it through your own telescope. We encourage you to bring your own scopes to Jenny Jump, and we'll help you use them, look through them, and set them up properly. And then you look through our scopes. Follow Orion's belt to the left or east to the bright star Sirius and the dog star. Follow it to the right or west, and you'll go past the bull's face with the bright red star Aldebaran, reddish, orange-ish, depending on how good your eyesight is. Keep going past in a straight line along the belt, past the Seven Sisters star cluster that I talked about before, where the planet Uranus is now hanging out. Beautiful star cluster. I've seen amateur astronomers take beautiful pictures of the dust lit up around these stars. I see 6. Some of you might have sharp eyesight and see 7 or 8. In binoculars, you'll see dozens, and large telescopes, hundreds of stars in this cluster. That's an open star cluster. There are things called globular clusters. There are other deep sky objects thousands of light years away in this vicinity as well. One of the best known is hanging from the belt of Orion in Orion's sword. Even a pair of binoculars or a small telescope will show a fuzziness in the middle of the sword. That is the famous Orion Nebula, a star-forming region with bright, reddish colored hydrogen gas, which generally we won't see in the telescope with our eyesight because we don't see colors very well unless the light level is high. In large telescopes, some amateurs have 24, 25-inch telescopes. We know a few. There, sometimes you can sense other colors. There's bluish light from the hot bluish stars reflecting off the nebula, reflection nebula. There's absorption nebula, dark dust that blocks the light of stars behind, the light of the gas, the hydrogen gas, most abundant element in the universe. Famous one looks like the head of an animal. Absorption, that's a dust cloud. There's some beautiful pictures taken with the Vera Rubin telescope that came online within the last year or two, couple of years. Looks like a horse head nebula. Other beautiful nebulae nearby. And one of my favorites is in the unicorn. Unicorn, see the unicorn? There it is. Looks just like a unicorn. It's incredible. I can't believe how close it is. How did they get a unicorn from those stars? There, it's even easier now, right? There you go, unicorn, sure. In the unicorn, Rosette Nebula. Someday these nebulae will collapse to form stars and solar systems. How do we know? Because we've seen it happen. We can simulate it with our supercomputers. We can verify that it does happen in reality. Stuff takes millions of years, very slow process, to happen in space. So besides Orion, there's minor constellations like the small Lepus running away from Orion. What's that? Lepus. Above Orion, the twins, Castor and Pollux. And why don't we take a look at this bright star that doesn't twinkle because it's so high. If the air is steady and clear, it generally won't twinkle because it's sending so much light to your eye that several cells or many cells in your eye are activated. Starlight activates generally only one cone in your eye or one rod. But here, a planet will show a disk, even in a small telescope. Jupiter, as it appears right now. In larger telescopes, Jupiter shows what you often hear in the magazines and articles call a wealth of detail. And look at that. One of the largest storms in the solar system is currently visible right now in a telescope. This large red spot formation goes by the ingenious name Great Red Spot. I'll tell you, those astronomers, they are extremely clever when it comes to naming things. One of the most intriguing moons in the solar system, two of them actually, the most volcanic moon in the solar system, Io, and a moon that is the brightest and yet smallest of the four giant moons. The largest moon in the solar system is bigger than the planet Mercury, Ganymede. This one, Europa, may be the abode of life, advanced life. We don't know. We're not sure. It's been cast into doubt recently because we're not sure if the interior is as fluid as we thought to create subsurface oceanic vents, hot thermal vents like the kind that we have with life living at them on the bottom of the ocean at the juncture of plates. Jupiter. Check it out. Come visit us. We'll show you Jupiter in our telescopes. We'll look at nebulae, some of the brighter ones, if you ask us. We'll see satellites going by if it's nice and dark. What else is up there? Well, if we continue to the east, to the left of Gemini, we're looking at some signs that are higher up later in the spring. So I'll be talking about Cancer the crab with its open cluster, the beehive cluster of stars, visible even in binoculars. And Leo, what's Leo? You ever hear of this? Leo kind of looks like what it's supposed to be, right? A little bit closer than usual, I would think. Leo. Leo is one of the few constellations whose abbreviation, LEO, is the same as its name. This star, the brightest star in Leo, is Alpha Leonis, or Regulus, or Coriolanus, or Rex. It goes by many names. The ancient Arab astronomers named all the brighter stars, and we still keep those names today, like Betelgeuse, or Betelgeuse, or Betelgeuse. If we were to continue and look even higher in the sky, we'd be bending our necks backwards to look back towards the north. There's Cassiopeia. We saw her earlier. And Perseus, the hero of legend, with Medusa, the head of Medusa. Those stars are disappearing. New stars are rising. And every month, we get a look 30 degrees further along as the stars move the same time each night. If I were to stay at one point, facing south every night at the same time at 20 hours and 42 minutes, 8:42 at night. Let's say that we were to look again, not in March number 3, but month number 4. That's what the sky would look like. How about month number 5, May? It'd be a lot brighter, and Leo would be due south now instead of where it is now in March. See that? The sky changes by 30 degrees every month. That's why we do this talk, What's Up in the Sky, every month, because new things come into view. There's always something new to see. And we are happy to be your guide and help you learn the sky the way we did. There's a lot of amateur astronomers who just love to show what they know about the sky and help you enjoy it along with them. And so once again, as a quick review, what you want to do is go outside and look for the letter N, right? To find north. Find the letter N. No. Find the NCP. No. Find the outlines that look like dippers. No. Oh, this is difficult. But you can find the Big Dipper. It's up. It's high enough that we can use its pointer stars to find the North Star. We can look over to the left for the zigzag, Cassiopeia, the queen. There'd be an extra star here if you went to visit the nearest star to the sun, the Alpha Centauri triple star system, where one of the stars is very much like ours and they have planets, perhaps like ours, perhaps not. And that bright star would be the sun, a bright yellow star amongst the stars of Cassiopeia. Look a little different. I'm making things difficult by removing the lines. You want to then spin your head towards the left or west to see stars of the summer disappearing, Perseus, Triangulum, you'll never guess. Go ahead, guess. The triangle, how did you know that? Incredible. Want to find the planet Uranus right near the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades, Taurus, the Bull. Orion is unmistakable. It's the main sign of the winter. If you lose everything else, if you can't find anything, find this grouping of stars. I was riding my bicycle at night one time in, I think it was the Edison area, and I got a little bit disoriented, but I saw Orion in the south, so I knew exactly what direction I was heading. Lepus, the hare, the dog, Sirius, the dog star, Canis Major, the large dog, Canis Minor. It's incredible how much this looks like a small dog. The twins kind of look like the twins. You can redraw the sky in a program like Stellarium. You can choose not markings, but sky culture. And I can look at the sky the way H.A. Rey redrew it, modern. H.A. Rey, R-E-Y, wrote a book called The Stars, A New Way to See Them. And he tried to redraw things to make it look more like a bull, yeah, a hunter, maybe, a dog, yeah, a minor redraw. If you look at other cultures, they become very different in the outlines. And then what you can do, once you've got Orion, you could point along Orion's belt to find the dog or the bull, left and right. You can use the winter triangle to find things. See if you can see the winter hexagon. Look for satellites. Come to visit us. We'll show you some nebulae or star clusters. Look, here's something in Gemini. Nebulae, star cluster. These are pictures that have been added into the program. You can add your own material, your own things into Stellarium, like the path of 3I Atlas, the interstellar comet. I'm going to come back to here if we have questions. But what I'd like to do before we get that far is find my find my presentation. Here we go. I got some reading for you. Oh no, reading material. Sky and Telescope magazine is in print, online, subscription, and free. Lots of parts of the website are free, absolutely. Check it out. Astronomy, similarly, Astronomy magazine, been in print for decades. Easy to remember, space.com has all kinds of topics exploring space, a search for life, stargazing, what to see every month. And best apps, if you want to get started using your mobile device, they rated these in 2025 and updated them in 2026. So for different purposes, for every season, there is a purpose, right? So if you're an Apple user, you might want to look at Night Sky 11. A lot of these things are free. If you're an astrophotographer, photo pills. I use Stellarium mobile because I can't see anything in the sky. I can see the North Star, I can see planets, a bright star or two, and that's about it. But this shows me what I'm supposed to be looking at. Skywalk, I used to use Skyview, Starwalk, best for entertainment. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it has clowns, elephants. Check it out. A planisphere is a star map. I talked about how Stellarium acts like one. You can buy these, they're very inexpensive. We have them, shameless plug, at our gift shop, which is faithfully personed by Kim. She's there working very hard. You can buy stuff when you come visit us. This is one of the most useful. They make these in plastic as well, different models, which are better if you're camping overnight in humid conditions. It's called the planisphere star map. Giant binoculars have come way down in price over the years. Amazing. These used to be $200 and up. Some of them still are. But I recommend those where the power, first number, like 12 by 36, 20 by 80, very common is 7 by 50. I used to have a pair. 7 power, 7 magnification, 7 times bigger, 50 millimeters, not inches, the size of the lens in millimeters. 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters, exactly. Our English system is built on the metric system, or defined by currently. So I recommend something bigger than birdwatching binoculars. 20 by 80 is nice. I have a pair of 9 by 63s. 63 millimeters is close to the size of a small refracting telescope. And so these are a little heavy. You want to rest them on a railing, the roof of a car, preferably a tripod if you can get one. But that's what I recommend, binoculars, because if you get bored with astronomy, you can use binoculars for other things, like watching birds. How to get started? Well, Sky and Telescope magazine has a nice guide that was written just a few months ago by Alan McRobert. Lots of information on space.com, astronomy.com, or .org. And you can get events, the kinds that I was talking about. Not much this month. We've got the equinox at these sites, go-astronomy, space.com, and starwalk.space. So don't forget, 1446, Universal Time. Oh no, what's that? Well, don't forget to change your clocks, either tonight or, tonight or tomorrow. If you want to do it officially, you can do it overnight, like 2 in the morning. Or you can wait till your clock sets itself automatically. But we're 5 hours different from London time now, not 4, but in daylight savings time, it's 5 hours different. So 14 minus 5 is, okay, last chance, mathematicians in the audience. 14 minus 5, 9:46 in the morning, the sun crosses the equator. We have equal days and nights at the spring equinox, the March equinox, the vernal equinox, March 20th. You can find me at astronomyinmotion.com. When my wife and I made up this name, we were told that's too long. It's too long. It takes too long to. Yeah, but it's easy to remember, isn't it? Because I make stuff move. I used to do space art. You see some examples on the right. I recently expanded this trifold, 3 times as many pieces of art. I hope to get back to painting again. I expanded from 8 to 23 virtual reality models you can play with for free. My book has new ones that you won't get for free, but it's not published yet. But check out my virtual reality objects, my animations, 3D animations, and artwork at astronomyinmotion.com. You can find out how to contact me there. I am a member of the International Association of Astronomical Artists. And if you go to that website, you can see art by many astronomical artists. You have been a great audience. I'm going to turn things back to Kim and just say, find us everywhere at UACNJ. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Lonnie, for another great talk. I am just, if you stop sharing for a minute, I think we're going to try and do the first. As promised, I'm going to attempt to do a giveaway for a UACNJ sticker, and I'm going to share a window here so people can at least see what they're going to enter to give away. Come on. Come on, load.
There we go. Give it time.
There we go.
It helps to talk to your technology and encourage it.
You're holding it there for just a minute, Jeff, so people can see the lovely sticker that we have that I'm going to be we're going to try and give away. I did share my screen. I'm looking at my tech dude, wondering where'd it go? Yes, Lonnie has stopped sharing his screen. My screen is shared.
Hang on, folks.
That's weird. I can assure you I am sharing.
Ah,
There we go. Haha. We win. Uh, but I'm gonna try and do a giveaway with that. And how this giveaway is gonna work is once the bot thing tells you to press, I believe it's gonna be exclamation point enter. Yes, I have told Lonnie that we are going to try and do a giveaway.
well, this is exciting. Somebody will get something.
Yes. Well, that's the hope. And I figured a sticker is a good way to try. Because if it fails on a t-shirt, that's a much more sad
Mhm.
feeling.
So gather your questions out there.
All right. So, there we go. In Twitch chat, if you press exclamation point enter, you can potentially win that sticker that you see on or you saw on the screen. And while that's running, uh, what we're going to do is ask the first question of the night, which was, would astronomy be easier or harder in the middle of the ocean as compared to land nowadays?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I would imagine that with a rocking boat, it'd be a little bit tough to align your telescope, but you would have a very nice view all around, right down to the horizon, which means that if you were watching the lunar eclipse on the 3rd, you would have seen it setting as it had just entered full eclipse phase. You wouldn't see the entire eclipse, but you'd see the most important part, or the beginning of it. Yeah, that would be a really a nice view because it would be pretty dark, no artificial lights,
But
and all the way down to the
yes,
horizon.
people in Twitch chat, I mean, you could try on YouTube. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be. You could probably see it via the bot there, where it says exclamation point enter, no spaces. Like I said, it might not work for YouTube.
Yeah, those of you trying, thank you for helping us experiment.
uh, but I remembered the feature was requested, so I figured we're gonna try it. But yes, our YouTube and it looks like Triple Mused in Twitch chat won the sticker, and you'll be
Excellent.
able to hit that link to redeem that. And moving on to the next question. Uh, Actually, the next comment was, we're impatient enough that we wish we could go over to the T Corona Borealis and show it something something so that it should get its act together and do the thing already.
Yeah, it's been doing it every 80 years, fairly regularly.
Except this year.
Yeah,
Except
of
lately.
course.
And the next question was, what about the winter circle? It's kind of a it's kind of actually a hexagon instead of a circle, apparently.
Yeah, it depends on how you imagine it. It's up to you. There are no lines out there, so when I see constellations, I think I imagine them a little differently from what you see on star charts. And you might also. If you want to see a funny star chart, check out the one in Science Made Stupid by Tom Weller. Long out of print, but I believe that's all available free online. Science Made Stupid and Culture Made Stupid. Brilliant books, really funny.
Right. And let's see. The the next comment was, well, what is a circle but a polygon of infinite faces?
There you go. Perfect. And we have
Hexagons, the
mathematicians.
low poly circles of the world.
There was a mathematician in the audience.
All right. And now's a good time to point out if you guys have any questions about astronomy, what's coming up in uh this coming month, uh do ask them in chat. We're here to help you uh get that. Ah, yes. So sometimes we have to do the silly things just to be silly. I understand. One of our YouTube viewers was trying to enter and it was being silly because it unfortunately doesn't work on the YouTube side.
Ah,
Right. Our next question is uh based on one that was asked early in chat where isn't the spot on Jupiter actually a storm, which it is,
yes.
uh, but they've heard that the Great Red Spot is shrinking. Is that true?
Yes, it
Uh,
is.
they seem to remember it being larger 30 years ago.
Wow. So you've been around a while, as have I. Yeah, it used to be, for a rough approximation, it used to be about 3 Earths long, 25,000 miles or so. It's down to about 2 Earths or less. But they've also discovered there seems to be some kind of permanent cell or formation underneath. So they don't expect the red spot to disappear. It does vary in size, but we've been watching it for 400 years. Fascinating. Oh, it's a nice
All right.
nice patch for the UACNJ. I call it UACNIJ for short.
Yeah, it's amazing how many astronomy organizations all have acronyms and they all get a little weird,
They're
especially some of them with the number of A's.
hard to say sometimes. But you got the IAAA right.
That doesn't always happen. I was surprised because, like, especially since I was going off of memory. All right. Like I said, any questions, do feel free to ask them in chat. Um, I do want to thank you, Lonnie. Again, if you guys want to support us, we are a nonprofit organization. Uh, so any support, especially those free actions where it's, come in, lurk and chat, the like, the follows. I think on YouTube, it's subscribe is the free action. Uh, do help us out by hitting those free actions. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can always do the not free actions, such as donating, uh, or um, I had words and then they disappeared.
Whoops. It happens.
Uh, yes. Well, I think that's a science thing, where they said aren't funny elaborate acronyms kind of an astronomy thing. That's just a science thing in general, I believe.
Hmm.
Oh, thank you for the subscription. Sorry. Um, I'm trying to read chat. Yes, subscribing was the word I was looking for.
Ah,
Uh, but at least someone in chat was paying attention and knew exactly what I was trying to say because sometimes I don't remember what I'm trying to say.
yeah, people out there,
Um,
feel free to fill in for us because we sometimes we forget.
and it looks like someone also activated another fourth wall giveaway for a New Jersey Forest sticker, which is
Ah,
different than the one that was just uh so people in Twitch chat, exclamation point enter in chat if you want a sticker. Oh, Red Dog, one of our tech guys wanted to know, people who have watched the stream before, do you enjoy the new floating head look instead of having our speaker in a small crimped box? We're thinking outside of the box, you could even say. All right. So it looks like that giveaway is going to be winding down. And quickly in Twitch chat, exclamation point, enter. And they think your floating head looked good. Good. Sometimes we try and test out new and fun, fun, exciting new things.
I'll try to keep
Trying to.
I'll try to keep things in the background away from the center so my head doesn't get in the way. My wife complains that my head gets in the way when we watch TV sometimes.
Well, the fun thing is you on when you're doing the winter presentations, you tend to stay fairly stationary, unlike me who's like over here dancing about. So you're usually good. Uh, and it looks like Crowbar Scout won the giveaway. Do click that link in chat to redeem your sticker.
Congrats.
And David Skit did notice something different, but couldn't put your finger on it. Don't put your fingers on your monitors or TV screens, whichever or whatever you happen to be watching on. Uh, Fingerprints get annoying on those. Our next question is, are there any tricks for finding the ecliptic in the night sky if you don't have an app or a map?
Sure, if you memorize the signs of the zodiac, there are currently 13, not 12, not one for each month, because the Earth, as the Earth goes around the sun, it is tipped, but that tip direction changes very slowly over 25,000 years. And it's enough to make a difference even over a few thousand years since astrology got started. So if you remember, look on a star map and remember where the bull is and the twins, you could follow the path that Jupiter is going to take as it goes into Cancer, the crab, and Leo, the lion later on the next few years. Yeah, so what I did when I was a kid is I took the centerfold out of Sky and Telescope magazine with a pair of needle nose pliers, looked at the sky for that month, memorized the zodiac signs, and then I put it, what a nerd, put it back into the magazine with the pair of needle nose pliers and the staples.
You actually did it the easier stuff like that the easier way and undid it with the staples with pliers. My go-to for staples is my fingernails and
Oh,
destroying those in the process.
yeah.
Uh, do not suggest that. But welcome in. I am seeing a number of new people in chat. It's great to see you. We are United Astronomy Clubs of New Jersey. We just had a presentation on what's up in the March sky. Uh, all sorts of fun astronomy and space things happening that you guys can check out. Um, if you missed it, fear not. We do keep these on YouTube. So if you're like, man, I came in at the very end and would have liked to know what's going on, do check out our YouTube. We have all of the videos of our presentation saved over there. Somewhere, sometimes they're not where you think they should be. If you don't see a presentation, chances are it's under the live section because we do live stream simultaneously on both Twitch and YouTube. So it likes to save them under the live tab. Uh, haven't figured that one out. Someday in the future we will.
Yep. Always
But
adding new technology. It's interesting.
and figuring out settings we probably should have a long time ago. But I'm gonna give a last call for any questions in chat. Um, I like to give a little bit of time because by the time I've said this, we're already a minute or so into the future because that's how stream delay works. But I do want to thank you, Lonnie, for another great presentation. Uh, people in chat, thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping us test out the giveaway system. Uh, Perhaps we'll do more of stuff like that in the future. I don't know when, because that's kind of not scheduled yet. Uh, but maybe sometime soon. Maybe sometime later, less soon. Um, and it looks like David Skit said, for the ecliptic, trace a line between where the sun rises and where it is around noon, and then where it sets. And that is the ecliptic.
Yeah, you can use the moon too, although that's not quite as accurate.
So, great points. I always go by the star hopping method of I figure out and can reliably spot one star or constellation, and then I start going around and learning what's around it and keep hopping my way outward until I've learned more. I still have not learned everything. There's always more to learn.
Yep, I want to
But
thank, before I forget, I want to thank Kim and Jeff and Chris for making this possible technically and for continuing the series. There are other things to see besides me.
but it's nice to have our favorites that we can go back to. All right. So it looks like our questions have come to an end. Like I said, guys, if you want more information, check us out on our website, uacnj.org. You're going to find a whole list of what we're about, our member clubs, other astronomy club, which are other astronomy clubs in our area, as well as presentations that we have coming up. Also, follow us on our social media, our Facebook, Instagram, Discord server. All great ways to get in touch with us, ask questions, or just brag about your latest astrophotography. Or, you had that weird astronomical event that happened that we weren't able to see because whenever there's a major one planned, it is completely clouded out,
Mhm.
like the lunar eclipse that just happened. It was solid clouds here.
Yep.
All right. With that, I wish everyone a good night. Uh, Next weekend, I believe we have a rerun. And then after that, we have a presentation with Stan Honda about astrophotography. With that, everyone have a great night, clear skies, and good seeing.